Here at Metal Mastermind, all metal musicians are important to us, including bass players. And I say that because sometimes bass players, or oftentimes bass players, just don't get enough credit. So we want you to know we will never forget about any musician, bass players included. And that's why today we're actually bringing you a plugin review of an amp simulator specifically for metal bass players. And this is the Dark Glass amp simulator by Neural DSP. First, we're going to jump inside of the plugin here, and we're going to take a look at the details, the amps, the settings, and the cabs and mics, all that good stuff. Then hang around because you're going to get to hear several different bass tones, and at the end of the video, we're going to give you a tone in the full mix using the Dark Glass plugin. So come with me, we're going to jump into the studio here, and we're going to go over the Dark Glass plugin features. All right, so we are in the interface here, and as you can see, as soon as you open this up, it's a clean layout. It's a very clean interface. To me, it's simplified. So right away, I like this because I've gone into other plugins, amp simulators and such, and sometimes you go into those things and it's just kind of a mess. There's like too much, too much too soon. It's like a relationship almost. Kidding. But anyway, so this is has a very clean and simple layout, which I like. Now to the bottom left over here, already you've got a tuner. I like to see this in amp simulator plugins. I think it's really a necessity. Every plugin should have it. I know some of them don't, but here's your tuner right here. So that's cool. That's easy to access. You've also got, I want to point this out real quick, you've also got some Midi capability. I've not used this, we have not tested this, but it's just cool to have these extra capabilities here. So let's go back to just the amp itself here, just this little box here. So you've got all of these controls, and the cool thing is there's this B7U, which we're in right now. If you see down at the bottom here, you've got two models. We're in the B7U, but you can also switch over to the VDU. Now, real quick, the B7U, this is the Microtubes B7U Ultra. Okay, this is I guess more of like a modern style amp. If we switch over to the VDU, I'm going to click this little button down here, this little slider. Now we've got the vintage Ultra version here. So that's kind of cool. You've got, two really entirely different types of tones and types of amps rather, and you can get a lot of different, tones and tone shaping and that sort of thing out of that. So we are going to listen to both of these in a second here, but let me just quickly go through the rest of what Dark Glass has to offer here. So I'm just going to switch over. Us metal people, we like black. Hey, the white looks cool too, but we like black. So actually it's kind of like a dark gray. But anyway, so you've got your master, you've got a blend here. You've got this little attack right here. This is a switch, and it's actually a three-way switch. So that's pretty cool. Right below that, you've got your bass, then you've got some low mids. And of course you can see here, there's also a three-way switch down here. You've got different parameters down here for your EQ for the mids, which is really cool to have. That can add a lot more, or allow you to add more shape and just get more tones out of this. Go back up to the middle of the right here, you've got your level and you got your drive. Three-way switch again here for this grunt function, which is pretty cool. Get more grunt out of it. Then you've got your high, mids, and treble, and here you have for your highs, you've got another three-way switch. So these little switches here just give you that, that many more options to go a little bit deeper into your tone, and again, shape your tone for exactly what you want. So those are some really, really cool features, kind of going a little beyond there with this sim, in my opinion. And down here, you've got a distortion, so you can click on that distortion and get a little bit more drive out of that. You can get some really cool, like death metal-y distortions out of this plugin here, which is really, really cool. Then you've got a bypass switch here too. So this is just like having a pedal in the studio. It's really, really cool. All right, so now I want to go over to the cabinet here. So if we switch over to that, now this looks very familiar to a lot of you who are used to amp simulators. You've got your cabinet here, and then you've got two mics. So you've got the option to use just one mic if you want, or you can use two mics. So Two is always better than one in most cases anyway. But you've got different array of mics here. You've got your dynamic 57, of course, based off the old school Shure SM57, our trusted mic for pretty much miking anything that's metal. And then you've got all your other mics that you'd probably expect to see. You've also got an option down here for custom IR. So if you want to load other IRs into this and use those cabinets and mics, you can do that as well. So that's your cabinet and mic settings. You've got some, of course, some more shaping of your tone options here. You've got the position of the mic, the distance, the mic level, and you've got this little tweeter level here too, which is cool. I've never actually seen that in an amp sim before, so that's pretty cool. I like seeing that there. And you can pan the mics. You can pan, however you want to pan this as well. So you've got some options there as well. Now you know what it's time for. It's time to hear some tones. So I'm gonna let you hear several different tones, and I'll actually post a screenshot of the setting. And these are the default settings that we're using here, by the way. I'll post a screenshot of each setting as you're hearing the tones. And don't forget, right after that, I've got a little clip of a full mix that I want you to hear. So those are some pretty cool tones by Dark Glass. Now those were default settings. We just used default settings. Again, we didn't make any adjustments or any tweaking, so you can tweak for days in this plugin to dial in the exact tone that you want. But we just wanted to come on and just kind of share with you what some of these tones sound like. And as you heard, there's a wide range of tones covering every subgenre of metal, but you don't have to just use the Dark Glass for metal. You can use this for other genres as well. You've got that capability with the different types of amps there. Now let's hear a short clip in the full mix, because of course that's where it really counts. Does it sound good with everything else? And I just kind of randomly picked one of the default settings, and it happened to be not only get good settings. So let's hear what that sounds like in the full mix. As far as overall bass amp simulation goes, virtual bass amp sims, I feel like that's where virtual sims are kind of lacking when it comes to bass guitar, and especially for metal, because when you're playing metal on bass, you've got to tweak your tone and get some different frequencies in there. It's a little bit different than playing bass for just, normal rock genre or country or whatever else. Playing metal, it takes a bit of a different approach and a little bit more really getting into those settings and dialing it in just right so that it fits well with those metal guitars and that hard double bass drumming and all that. You've got to make all that fit together. And this is where, in my opinion, that a lot of the virtual bass amp simulators kind of lack when it comes to bass guitar. I've yet to hear anything that I've really been like, wow, this is awesome, until I played the Dark Glass here. I'm pretty impressed with this plugin. This is pretty cool. And of course, we're not getting any kickbacks or anything else, from Dark Glass or Neural DSP rather, for putting this video out there. This is not sponsored. This is just based on my opinion as a guitar player who plays bass. And of course, Ken, co-owner here of Metal Mastermind with me, he's heard this plugin and he's pretty happy with it as well. So we just want to come on here and give you guys just our honest feedback on different types of plugins and what we feel like, hey, this might work really well for you if you're a bass player. Let us know what your thoughts are on this plugin in the comments. Of course, you can make some comments on the tones you heard here, but more so I'd like to know if you have the plugin or if you've played the plugin, what your thoughts are on that and what type of music, what subgenre rather of metal that you play. If you could include that in the comments as well, that'd be awesome. Also guys, real quick before we go, don't forget that you can get your free home studio setup guide. There's a link in the description of this YouTube video, so definitely go download your copy of that if you haven't gotten that already. I know a lot of you already have that, and we've gotten some awesome feedback from that free guide. So if you haven't got that, go to the YouTube description, download your copy, and join Metal Mastermind here. This is what we're all about, helping metal musicians. So guys, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed to our channel, and until next time, keep those horns up.